It's a day or so after Christmas, so I thought I'd share with you a few of the things I got from Anna and from my family. So these are my books that I received. Some of these were from my list, things that I'd asked for, and some of them were other bits and pieces that Anna found. So I thought I'd show you each book and tell you about it. First up is this journal. So this is a empty journal, just lined paper. I prefer lined paper so I can keep my sort of rows quite neat, otherwise I tend to end up going all over the place. It's got a nice deer on the front. This was from I'm not sure actually, I'm not sure where it's from, but yeah, it's just a plain notebook. It's quite hard to find this sort of notebook that, you know, isn't sort of mega expensive, high end, in sort of blokes kind of colours. So yeah, so it's quite nice. I always finish my journals. I write in them every day, but I always keep going to the end. I don't do a year at a time or anything. So the one I'm using that I got last Christmas will probably last me to about August, I think. I started it in August, so I think it will do about a year. So yeah, so I'll carry on until that's finished, and then I'll move into this one. So that's really good, something really useful. It's good to get one each year, so I can move on to that when I've finished the current one. Next up is this book. So this was actually one that I asked for. My mum got me this and 2 other books. So this is one I had on my list that I'd seen somewhere over the year, and I'd put it in my my sort of Christmas list. So it's a it's not fiction, it's a factual book, and the sort of blurb on the back is this. So it says, in exquisite pose, John Lewis Stample records the passing seasons in an ancient meadow on his farm. His unique and intimate account of the birth, life and death of the flora and fauna, from a pair of ravens who lived there longer than he has, to the minute underfoot. So it goes on a bit more, but basically it's a sort of a record of what goes on in a meadow in England in a year, and all the different animals that come and go, different things and stuff. So sort of up my street, nature kind of stuff. Learn a bit about ecology and things that go on in different areas of the country. So that's nice. I've just finished a book on my Kindle, so I might actually move on to this one next. Read quite a lot over Christmas, so I've read a couple of books in the last week or so. Next one is this is from Anna. She found it. Something quite different for me. I don't really normally read this kind of book, sort of biographies and stuff, but it's quite nice. We got really into the Gilmore Girls this year. Watched all the seasons and the new one on Netflix. So yeah, it's quite nice, quite funny. Learn a bit more about her. Might be a nice read. Look, I've read a few little bits so far, and it seems quite nice. So yeah, that's a nice little present. The last sort of typical book that I would read, more of a sort of book you can read cover to cover. This is one from Anna got. This is actually an old book. I don't think you can get this anymore. This was from a charity shop. I quite like that, because you often find weird and different books. It's just a little present, so it's quite cool. So this is very similar to a lot of books I've read over the years. Always dangerous to read things about uprooting yourself and going somewhere cool. But this is a typical dream to escape, uprooting his family and taking them with him to the South Seas. Yeah, so a guy goes and takes himself to a desert island by the look of it. Lives off the land maybe. Yeah, so sort of typical dream kind of good life book. So yeah, so something similar to I've read before. Be nice to read. So yeah, so that's another one I shall read in the next few weeks. The other 4 books are more reference kind of books. So this is A Lonely Planet for New England in America, So we've always talked about going to Maine and that sort of area. I don't really know a lot about that area, so it's quite cool to have this book. It's probably not something we'll do in the next few years, but certainly at some point I'd love to go to that area, learn more about it. There's some really nice parts of that part of the country above New York that we'd love to go to. So yeah, that's cool. It's nice to have Lonely Planets as a sort of starting point for a lot of trips. Get to know the area a little bit. This one's a little closer to home. This is Cornwall. So this is a sort of leisure guide of lots of different things to do in Cornwall, places to go and see. We had those really good wild guides that we used a lot in the last couple of years, and found lots of really nice places that are out of the way and different things that we'd never find. So we've sort of been looking for more books like that, so we can find more little coves and little beaches and different places to go. So this is another book like that. It's got maps in it and stuff as well. So yeah, it's really nice. And I found this, so we'll flip through that before we go, choose some different places to go, try and head to some different sort of places to camp this year, have a bit more adventure. This is another book that was on my list. For a long time I've sort of been into the idea of permaculture and forest gardens, growing food in a sort of natural way. There's sort of 3 levels of trees and shrubs and perennial plants and things. Something I try and do a little bit in our garden, slowly changing it over to that sort of idea. So this is sort of quite a well-known book. Patrick Whitefield is quite a sort of renowned person in the UK permaculture sort of landscape. So yes, it's quite a detailed book, more of a reference book or a textbook, I guess. How to do different things, quite technical in places. But yeah, it's something I will read through and come back to over the years, I'm sure. Learn a lot from that. This is the last book that I got for Christmas, and again, this is from my mum. This is one that's been on my list a little while. It's quite a chunky book, and it's, for Britain at least, the sort of best guide you can get to permaculture in our sort of climate. So yeah, again, this is by Patrick Whitefield, and this is the sort of almost the Bible of permaculture for the UK. So again, it's huge, loads of text and technical drawings and stuff, and examples. Yeah, it's a really good book on permaculture, which I'm really interested in. I love sort of gardening, obviously, and doing it in a more natural way, organic stuff, sort of right up my alley. So yeah, I'll endeavour to read through that and see what I can learn from that and apply to our lives. That's definitely something I'm interested in. It's quite a big old chunky book. It will take a while, but yeah, it's really nice to have that. So that's all the books I got for Christmas. It's a few weeks of reading there to keep me going. Do a lot of reading on Kindle these days because it's a lot easier to read in bed and stuff. But these are good reference guides and things. So it's always good to have them in print so you can keep them to hand when you need them. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching that and seeing what I got and different books. I'll try and review some of these later in the year. And I hope you had a really good Christmas.